Well, hello, welcome back. We've got another Overland Coffee Talk coming at you. I'm Jack. We've got a fun crew here today. We're going to be talking to Zach Frantz from Wildland Coffee. We're also going to be catching up with what happened at CES last week, which I'm sure you're all excited about. Let's get this thing going. Let's hear what happened at CES.
Be in it.
"83 miles away from here, secrets lie hidden. Advancements our world has never seen before. Innovations waiting to be discovered, to be unleashed. The revolution is coming. New technologies, inexplicable capabilities, next-gen power. They'll tell you that it is impossible, but we know what the future holds. Because the best way to predict the future is to invent it. This will redefine what powerful can be, what productivity can be, what a truck can be. The revolution is here, and the truck world will never be the same.
I had the privilege of covering CES 2023. It was in Las Vegas, and Dodge kind of surprised us, and they didn't announce this at SEMA. They actually announced it at CES. So it was kind of a shocker when we got there to the press booth and they said, hey, Dodge is going to be doing this big thing. The cool thing that, people said, oh, it'll never be made. It's a concept car, things like that. They actually had the chassis that the 1500 will be running on. They had it there. So the chassis is something that Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler Dodge, did. They already had it done. The cool thing that we did see, there's actually a robot Roomba that charges your car when you back it in the garage. It knows where the charging port is underneath, and it's like a mechanical, or if you want to call it, like a magnetic charger. So it's totally waterproof.
Inductive charging, yeah.
And it has inductive charging, and
That's
then it
awesome.
also has the plug-in. So in the frunk, I don't know if I like the name frunk, but in the frunk, the truck has a charger port and a cord. But at home, it literally pulls up. You don't have to do anything, and it charges the truck. So it was really interesting. The other cool thing was you can fit an 18-foot board from front to back. 18 feet.
Wow.
The front, so the seats fold down completely flat. The boards go from the tailgate to the front, and there's actually a pass-through in the front to the cab. So of course, guys, it's a concept car. We know things are going to change when it goes to production, but the fact that Stellantis already has the body on frame, the battery packs, the engines, everything's already done. I think it's, Jack, I mean, I was pretty impressed with it. I think it's got a pretty good chance of coming to market.
I mean, Toyota should be nervous. Guys like me are getting interested in vehicles like this. Like, I saw it, and the first thing that I thought of when I saw the back of the cab that folds down is that's super awesome for having pass through. So for people who want to do a box on the back of the truck, on the bed of the truck, you can do that without having to cut into the frame. You can do, like, it gives you so much options that you can do with that. You could put a cab on the back, and then you'd have pass through from your vehicle to the bed of your truck. I mean, yeah, cool. 18-foot long piece of wood. It might happen, a couple of times a year. It might happen, but most likely no.
12
but
foot.
I could totally see putting a box on the back and having pass through.
Now, if you're a longboarder, like, if you're doing some surfing, I mean, maybe, but yeah, like,
Great point.
and it's neat.
Great
And
point.
that fold down reminded me that they did that on the Avalanche. Like, that was an Avalanche feature back in the day. So it's nice to see that finally coming back into play, you know, it's
Well, and the other thing that and these were marketing people. So guys, they're not engineers. So the marketing people said they're already working with a hard top tonneau cover manufacturer
makes
to
sense.
have a hard top built on. The ram boxes were huge on this design. It's just monstrous because you don't have the wheel wells. Electric motors drop lower. You don't need the
Yeah.
wheel well anymore. So the ram boxes were huge. They did say that they already have people working on the hardtop version that, and if it's anything like Jeep, they see the aftermarket people doing all this stuff, and eventually Jeep says, well, we'll add this piece or this, they've done it. Steel bumpers. Everybody did steel bumpers on their Jeep. And then Mopar finally said, why aren't we putting steel bumpers as an option? LED headlights. So I think what's happening is Stellantis is looking at it and saying, okay, we know they're probably going to want a tonneau cover. So why don't we put one on it as an option that you can order from the factory? It
Yeah,
was
it
pretty
makes
promising. I'm not a truck guy. I'm a Jeep guy, but looking at the design, it was probably one of the best looking EV trucks. And the other thing, again, marketing said 500-mile range. That
they can
could
pull that
be,
off.
if
Yeah.
they can pull off a 500-mile range, that could legit be a game changer. They did tell me for serviceability that if the batteries needed to replace, they would slide the entire chassis out, slide under an entire new chassis, and send you back on your way. So there's something about this, they call it the sled. Basically, it's a platform that they're building for trucks and vans and SUVs or whatever, but it's all body on frame. So it's a truck frame, but they could literally lift the body up, unplug all the harnesses, and drop an entire new battery pack, new motors, everything. So they're going to this modularized EV. It's something we really want to pay attention to. Can I tell you how good it's going to be for overlanding? I don't know yet, but Phil being the full size life, I think he could
Yeah.
he's probably wetting his whistle on this one a little bit.
Exactly. And that like skateboard or sled, idea, that's been kind of the goal of EV for quite a while. And you could even see where they would have like a street truck config where it's lower, it doesn't need long travel or anything like that, and then have the like overland or off-road spec chassis. And that could be a swappability thing, something like that, where okay, at one point maybe there's the TRX-E, that gets the crazy long travel 35s, blah blah blah. That's the one that they slot under it, and then you choose your body, factory option in the cab and all that stuff, and away you go. It's real smart.
The mobile office also looked amazing. Now, again, concept car, and I do have another video that we'll play at some point of the actual truck. And the interior, while it was a concept, was pretty epic. All the seats fold flat. They have keyboards that come out. The steering wheel actually folds and goes into the dash to get out of your way of a mobile office. So
that sounds really cool. Can we check that video out now?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go to it. That's pretty awesome, man. So one of the questions that I had on that, Keenan, and I know one of the friends of the show, Chris Fenwick, he had been trying to figure out how the RAM box is opened. Did you see how in the concept car how the RAM box is opened? Because we couldn't find it when we looked at any of the photos that were online.
So they wouldn't allow us to open anything. And I mean, I did my video in front of it, and I touched the truck. I was right there, but I don't know if they were functional, to be honest with you. It is a concept car, so they were pretty guarded about what they're allowing. They did mention a lot of parts were 3D printed. They're talking about sustainable materials. So if you guys are on the Overland Discord channel, the full EV release is on our YouTube. So if you want to watch the whole 20-minute keynote with the car, please do. We didn't want to bore you guys with that here for 20 minutes. So we just grabbed some snippets of it. They're using recycled rubber and cork material for the floor. So now these manufacturers are the key the overreaching theme of CES was sustainability, or, we need to leave Earth better than what we found it. So these auto manufacturers are starting to embrace those technologies. Don't mention that they're using a ton of lithium batteries and 18 screens across the dash, but everything else in the car is sustainable. So I think you're gonna see some really good stuff out of Stellantis for Dodge. And the one thing that I heard with people is, why does it still have a hood? Why haven't we made it like the old 70s? What were those trucks? Phil, you're more of a truck guy. Remember the old F100s where it was like a cab over design? Why do we still have the place for the engine? So I thought that would have been a kind of a cool concept, but they're trying to appeal to the big and tough guys that drive the big trucks. So,
but that's the thing is, like, I just saw a discussion on another like off-road place where a guy was looking at one of those old like Econoline pickup truck, which is basically a van front end and then a pickup bed behind it. Like, oh, this would be great for off-roading, and everyone was like, approach angle. That's the thing is, if you're sitting way up there in front, you need a spot for your feet to go and not be crushed in a crash, So, and when we see our big off-road trucks and stuff, what's the first thing you do? You put a big steel bumper on it that gives you massive approach angle. Well, where do your feet go? And you're not going to sit you're not going to sit in the middle like a McLaren F1 or anything. You're going to have people you're going to have gear, you're going to have a passenger. So where do your feet go? And if you're just spacing it out, well, it looks natural to kind of sit behind the wheel. So you end up with a frunk, which, I mean, I like that term. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah, well, a lot of people didn't like that term. And the frunk was, I can see that, but you can actually, if you're a bigger guy and you're cruising down the highway, you can actually open the frunk from the cab and throw your feet up there. It literally was open. They were putting their feet, like your passenger could
Barca-lounger mode, like
Barca-lounger mode. You can put your feet in the frunk. So
concept car. We're gonna highlight that's a concept car.
Yeah.
We don't know that'll make it to production.
I think NTSB might have a couple of words about that one.
And a lot of this is, with the standards of crumple zones and things like that, you do need that material between the front of the car and the passenger compartment. So I'm excited. Let's see what happens. There was a ton of tech at CES, a lot of self-driving cars, a lot of autonomy, and it was pretty excellent. So I think everybody should go once.
Yeah. We don't have any graphics on this next thing that I'm going to talk about, but the canoe just made me think of when you talked about not having that front end space. That is how the canoe is built. Canoe is a new electric vehicle that's out. It looks like a van, but it also has truck form factors. And that's exactly what I was thinking of, Keenan, when you were talking about why do we need that frunk? Well, Canoe is the answer for that. They don't need it. They didn't provide one. So it's a pretty much straight up bus front on a truck.
Yeah.
It's really interesting vehicle.
CANOO is how they spell Canoe. And yeah, it looks kind of like they modernized like an old Volkswagen Transporter van.
Yeah. It's questionable. It might be ugly.
I love it.
See it.
This thing is sick.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's the new Wildland Coffee Overland rig.
I want to buy one of these things right now.
Right,
awesome.
Exactly. But you can see what I'm saying. Like where your feet go and your approach angle, that's where you're going to get hit like that.
Jack, you could buy that square one and make it into an RV.
I think they would make glorious RVs. Absolutely.
If you buy the square one though, you got to go with a whole Star Wars Sandcrawler theme. I think that's the vibe I'm getting there.
Oh yeah, big shout out to our producers for pulling that up for us. Thanks.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, do the Star Wars thing. That would be cool for sure. Well, Zach's been hanging on as we've been talking about CES, but We are super excited to be talking to Zach Frantz from Wildland Coffee. And we are so excited about his coffee. We're actually going to brew some today. It's going to be super fun. So Keenan and I think, are set up to do a brew. Phil's already done his brew today because he likes to get his coffee early.
That's why I'm wide awake and focused. We're in.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get that set up.
So
Keenan, go ahead and press go.
Yeah, so I have the cauldron. It's a battery powered boil thing. So I'm gonna start boiling some water here. We're gonna let that roll. So Zach and I met a while back, and I thought it was cool. And I apologize. I used to call these tea bags. It's a coffee bag. Just make sure everybody knows that. I apologize. It's a coffee bag. So Zach's got a couple varieties. If you caught my Instagram about it, it was pretty awesome. I went out in the desert and I brewed some coffee. I used my jet boil, and I gotta say, Zach, it's a good brew for being in a bag. I told you I didn't know what to expect, and so why don't you tell us how you started this and what you were thinking? And while we're brewing coffee, why don't we talk about Wildland and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah. So, my name's, for everyone that's watching, my name's Zach Frantz. I'm the founder of Wildland Coffee. So I've actually been in the coffee game for a little over 3 years now. This is actually my second coffee business. The first one was basically the same product, just a different company with a business partner. So really, like the story of how I got into coffee was, this was like 2018. I remember I was camping in Salt Lake. I was living in Salt Lake at the time. And I was just sick of using my French press. And I'm like super lazy when it comes to certain things. And I was like, this is the dumbest fucking, am I allowed to cuss on this? No.
It's
okay.
all good. Keep going.
Oh,
You're good.
I was like,
We'll bleep you.
This is the dumbest problem to have. Like, I'm sitting here in the woods, I'm trying to relax, and now I have to like clean this thing. It's just like, there's so much drama with like making my coffee. And I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was 9. And I just thought, okay, so like a French press, you're steeping beans, grounds. A tea bag could steep grounds. Like, why would that be any different? And so in that moment, like I had never seen it before. So in that moment, I was like, I am the smartest motherfucker in the world. Like, I swear to you, I thought I was like Steve Jobs, dude. If you've ever had that feeling, thinking you're Steve Jobs, is a pretty cool feeling. I'd recommend it. So I went home and I Googled it, and I'm not the only one that thought of it. Wah, 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 type of situation, right? So it turns out like Folgers has had like a similar product for 40 years or something. And then there were some other products that were like more similar to mine in terms of like the quality and the size and all the other stuff. So I bought the other products, and they were fine. Like, it was nothing that like got me excited. They weren't bad. They were, 7s, right? And the biggest thing though was I felt like the other brands that were doing it were just like generic coffee companies. Like, I didn't feel like those brands were like speaking to me as someone who loves the outdoors. And as I considered habits of like how people consume coffee, if you think about like your morning coffee routine when you're at home, like getting someone to change a morning coffee routine is like damn near impossible, right? It's like you've been doing it for like decades maybe. And when you're at home, people are pretty price sensitive, right? Because you can get a bag of beans, even an expensive bag of beans on a per cut basis is not that expensive. So I figured if I could brand this as like the coffee brand for the outdoor enthusiast, I'd have less trouble getting people to switch over. People would be willing to pay a premium because when you're, camping or overland, you're going to pay for a premium for things. And I didn't feel like there were, and at the time, there were no other brands that were really speaking to the outdoor consumer with this product. So that's like really how I got into the coffee game. Again, that was 3 years ago. I started Wildland 2 years ago. So yeah, I've been full time with this thing for 7 months. And we're like, really the vision is to be the number one coffee brand for the outdoor enthusiast.
Well, I have to say, there's some things that really spoke to us. Your packaging is really nice. It doesn't take up much room. I mean, so if you're looking at this, throwing this in your Overland kit, you can easily have a weekend of coffee without much space. a
Yeah.
year of shelf life, pretty awesome. A year on a coffee bag. I can't keep coffee fresh a month, so a year in this nitrogen bag. So Zach's done all the manufacturing in house. He puts nitrogen in here to keep the coffee fresh. And the cool thing is totally compostable. So when you're done with your coffee, I'm with you, Zach. Jack is a French press guy. I absolutely freaking hate the French press. It's so messy. I have one with my Jetboil. I've literally never used it. I was a Via guy, and we're not going to talk about the other brand, but I poured those little, not good. That's the bitter stuff. So, I tried this, and Jack, I ordered some, and he sent some to Phil, and I was really impressed. You say it's as good you can have it without anything in it. I like coffee creamer, and I'm kind of a girl like that, but I'm not as much of a girl as Phil.
No, you're just like a sweet tooth. It's just a sweet tooth thing.
Yeah, you gotta have the coconut almond creamer from Trader Joe's.
It's like what my wife says. She says, "I like sugar with coffee in it." So my wife.
Are you gonna come up with
those people?
So here's what we need to do. We need to come up with a Wildland creamer that's like almond or coconut powder that I can just put with my coffee, and then we'll buy that too. Because this takes up a lot of room in my refrigerator, and Trader Joe's so graciously packages it in these little 16-ounce containers. So you need like 4 of them for a weekend because it just doesn't work. So if we had some good creamer, I'd be in for French vanilla. I'm with your wife.
I actually have a friend who he owns it's like a coconut creamer company, but it's powdered.
Okay.
Collab.
There could be a collab. I mean, and I actually have thought about that, like doing like little like stick packs.
Like an accessory pack.
Yeah, exactly. Increase the average order value. Lord knows I need more money. Fuck, dude.
Put my face on it. I don't care. I mean, we can do my silhouette. It's a great. I'll
license be your model.
Keenan's coffee booster.
Keenan's coffee booster.
I think we're onto something, boys.
So, I tried it. So Zach, I got some of this stuff early on, and I immediately reached out, and I was like, you know what, our guys at Overland Discord, we're always looking for stuff. And Zach, your business model and your care of the environment and your environmental sustainability by being compostable, that's stuff that speaks to all of us. We always talk the pack in, pack out, leave no trace. Yeah. So, it's a totally a cool thing. So let's talk more about you. Where you been? What do you do? Or Jack probably got some questions for you.
I do. So, this is Overland Coffee Talks, and every time we bring a guest on, we shame them a little bit and we ask them some silly questions about themselves. So today we'll start off with, Zach, what was your first set of wheels? What was the first thing that drove you around?
I had a 1999. Oh, wait, no, the first one. Yeah, 1999 Honda Civic. It was green. Nice. And then when I was in college, I actually went backwards and I got a 92 Accord. I don't know. I was going the wrong direction. As I got older, my cars got older. As I got older, my cars got older too.
There you go.
That's
kind of weird.
That tracks. No, that's not weird at all.
No, it's not weird. I mean, it
tracks.
Right. Yeah.
I gotta ask, did you put the woofer box in the back, and did you crank the music up loud? Because that's everybody I knew driving a 92 Accord. That's what we were doing. We were building custom subwoofer boxes, putting them back there, and music all the way up.
So it's funny. It wasn't custom, but I did have a subwoofer back there. When I thought I was like super cool, you're like going through like like you think you're like the cool guy, and
was now it a Blaupunkt brand or whatever? What was the brand that everybody bought from, like Blaupunkt, or what was the brand? Come on, you got to throw it out there.
Mm-hmm. That was it, Blaupunkt.
Okay, I think that's what everybody bought at AutoZone when you thought you were buying good
exactly.
Subs. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Square subwoofers, dude.
Yeah, square subwoofers, custom.
And now I have an FJ. I actually went from the 92 Accord to the FJ Cruiser.
Fantastic.
Whoa. Okay, nice. Mm-hmm. So how long have you been in the FJ?
Oh man, I bought it in 2000 and it was used. It was 2015, 14 or 15.
Okay.
It's a 2007. It's the first year. It has 220,000, almost 220,000 miles now.
Wow, that's awesome. Nice. Did you have to do the engine? The 07s had that issue with the engine where the engine mounts had to be redone. There was a recall. So you haven't had that happen yet, or maybe it was taken care of before you got it.
I don't know. I mean, I hope I don't need new engine mounts. Doesn't seem.
It was a recall, so it's probably
Yeah.
been taken care of.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was really calm with those. That's a super fun ride. I really wanted one so badly for a while. And I shopped it before I got my Forerunner.
You know what? I think we all wanted the FJ for a while, and
Mhm.
the deciding factor for me was the back suicide door. I was like, nope, if it were a real door, I'd be in, but suicide doors, and coming from a 2-door ZR2 Blazer, I was like, I don't want suicide doors. So I went with the Wrangler. So everybody buy Wildland Coffee so Zach can go get something new,
Yeah,
like a Forerunner or a Jeep.
people are gonna have to buy a lot of coffee for that.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's dream big.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Good coffee.
Here's what I'll say about the FJ is I love it.
Yeah.
But there's like some pretty big like disadvantages to it. One, like especially if you have kids, like the back door thing, like I don't have kids yet, but like I could see that being a real pain. It's also not as big as it seems on the inside. Like in terms of the actual like storage capacity, like my wife has a 21 whatever kind of recent like CRV, and I can fit more of my wife's CRV than I can in the FJ.
Yep.
So it's not like they're like not that, they're kind of impractical, to be honest with you, but like they're awesome at the same time. Like I love it, and like the gas mileage is trash. I get like 15 miles to the gallon.
Well, short of a Forerunner, the FJ is my favorite vehicle to pull out. So I want to pull Forerunners out first, but then the FJ is my close second. So our friend Chris Widener got stuck, and I had the pleasure of the Jeep pulling out the FJ. So that was
I mean I'll hopefully have this thing until like the wheels fall off. But I mean, they don't make them anymore, but like I wouldn't buy another one. But I'll definitely like I'm not like looking to like trade in. I'm not looking to like get rid of it. It runs like a champ, right? Like it's probably never gonna die on me.
It's a Toyota. I mean,
it's a Toyota. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say.
Awesome.
Right on. Well, we asked you what was your dream build, and what was your response?
My dream build was to build a good company.
My man.
So here's I consider myself to be a very shitty overlander. Like I'm like I have a friend, he was on this 3-day trail run or whatever, and he got a big dent, and he put a "I suck at overlanding" sticker, and he put it on the dent. That's Kelly
awesome.
Barney. His YouTube channel is Overland Built. I don't know, you guys may have. He's got like a decent following. And I was like, dude, like I really need one of those stickers, because I mean I don't have any dents in my car, but like I suck. And then he was telling me recently that him and his brother are like planning a trip through Death Valley, and I was like, oh dude, like thanks for the invite, dick. Like, and he was like, well, like you can go, but like you need to get your shit together, like. Because last time we were at an event, I'm like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And he's like, dude, you need to get it together, man.
That's awesome.
Well, and that's why we're here with the Overland Discord channel, because we'll help people get it together. And you know, everybody's welcome, even people with like excursions or boards.
Hey.
Excursions or boards.
He resembles that remark.
He resembles that remark.
I also giggle when people talk about terrible gas mileage and it's like 15. I'm like, yeah, it's a good
That'd
one.
be nice.
So that's a good joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Downhill.
Downhill with a tailwind.
Yeah.
You know. So
then like a couple weeks ago, I committed to sponsoring this event. It's called Rogue Overland. It's like a 4-day tour through Moab.
Nice.
And so like Wildland's going to be like the coffee sponsor on that event, and I'm going to go. And I was like, okay, like I need to go get some recovery gear. I have none of that. I can't be like the guy on the trip as the sponsor that's also like the biggest idiot.
So we'll make sure and hook you up with Overland Vehicle Systems, a former guest of our show and a friend of the Overland Discord channel. We'll get you hooked up and make sure you get all the gear you need.
Yeah, they've got some good recovery gear that'll hook you up.
And they're based in California, LA company. So
all right,
we'll get you hooked up. They'll get it shipped before you leave.
Yeah. All right, cool. I really need it. Every time I go to these events, my wife's like, Zach, like, are you gonna embarrass yourself again without having enough gear? And I was like, probably.
Yeah, but you're the cool coffee guy, so nobody cares.
I know I
Exactly.
do have, if it wasn't for the coffee thing, people would probably not like want to hang out with me. But because I provide coffee,
Nice.
I think feel like you kind of suck at the Overland thing, but like you give us coffee, so it's like a fair trade, you know?
Exactly.
Fair
It's
enough.
a barter system.
Yeah.
All right, Jack,
Yeah.
first taste. Is yours ready?
Mine is ready. So we've been brewing our coffee.
Unfortunately, I apologize to our viewers. We don't have any over or Wildland coffee mugs. Sorry. So this is the closest thing I got for Christmas.
Stay a while, it's good,
Perfect.
dude. It
Yeah.
could be like a good motto for me.
Could
Yeah.
be. Stay wild.
So we followed the instructions on the packet. The instructions on the packet say to bring your water to a boil. And I used my jet boil. I used my jet boil to get mine to a
To
rolling
boil.
boil. And then I poured it in, dropped in my coffee bag, and it steeped for 8 minutes. So we sat here and BS'd and talked for 8 minutes, and now the coffee's ready. So now let's do it.
Well, I already had some, so
There you
I
go.
already finished mine.
all right. And Phil doesn't drink coffee past noon, so that's okay. No worries.
It's all good. No, what I was impressed with earlier, you mentioned that it was the nitrogen fill, and I was, because when I opened it, I was like, wait, there was something there that I couldn't quite pick up on, and so that totally makes sense. And I was really impressed with just opening the bag, you can tell it's going to be a good cup of coffee.
Well, that was the one thing. I opened it out in the desert, and before I even seeped it, I'm like, yep.
Yeah,
The
smells delicious.
So, and that was, I spent a month in the desert. Jack and I and Phil went on some adventures, and I did instant coffee for a month, and it was okay because it's all I had. If I would have had this during that month, my experience would have been 1,000% better. And, the form factor is really what sold me, because I can throw them in my tall maker. I can put it right in the drawer systems and have a ton of these. And if you want a package, find Jack Rye at the 4x4 Winter 4x4 Jamboree in Hurricane, Utah. We're going to have, Zach has sent us a couple bags. So we'll make sure if you're up in Hurricane, or St. George, we're going to have some to give out along with a discount code for 90% off. So, I mean, what's that? I'm just kidding. 10% off.
We came down to 10% off. Yeah, we'll do 10% off on
Overland
that.
Overland DC is the discount code, and I think we're going to throw that in our description on YouTube. So with a link to Wildland Coffee Company. But Zach, good job, man.
Thanks.
I really liked it. It's been good stuff. So
Yeah, so we work with a roaster here in San Diego, and they've won like awards for their coffee. You guys don't want me roasting coffee. That's not my thing. Trust me. And a couple of things that I'll say about like the preparation process is, so I'll show you here. So eight ounce, you can't see it, but 8 ounces for 8 minutes, right? But the thing is like, it's such a customizable product. You can use more water and steep for longer. Like I say 8 minutes, but like I've left in my coffee for like 20 minutes at some points, and it just continues to get stronger and stronger. I've got customers that will use it for multiple cups. Those like second, third, fourth cups are not going to be as strong, but like it continues to like extract flavor. So it's a pretty customizable product. The other thing is like you can make cold brew from it. So just like throw it in some water, put it in overnight, make sure the water's like cold or like room temperature. You put it in overnight, you grab it the next morning, you have a great cup of cold brew too. So there's like a lot of different like ways that you could use the product.
Jack's placing orders now for more coffee bags because he's going to cold brew every night.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna do the cold brew. Set that up.
The cold brew is really good. The cold brew is really good.
Yeah, awesome.
I am not a cold brew guy, and I'm not a black coffee guy. After spending 27 years on emergency calls, black coffee was like, I can't do it. So, but I'll try it one day.
I love the black coffee, and so I tried the dark roast
Same.
today is what I tried, and drinking it dark, drinking it straight, it tastes great. There's nothing there that there's no bitterness. It's not over roasted. It's not burnt. Sometimes with a dark roast, you can really get that burnt flavor. Also, I can't speak to it because I haven't read the package, but usually with a dark roast, you're actually getting less caffeine just through the process of roasting for longer. You end up getting a little bit less. So if you are someone like me who's crazy and likes to drink coffee at night, dark roast is a better choice if you're trying to not impact your sleep. So, it's nice that there's really great options. Super fun stuff. I like the simplicity of it, right? Just hit the jet boil, do the water. I'm a don't talk to me before coffee person. And so I like how simple this is for that, because I can just pour the water in, get the water going, and then dump in the coffee bag, and it's easy. And then you're sitting there for 8 minutes and I could be making eggs or doing whatever else around the campfire while I'm waiting for it to be ready. I love
This is
that.
pretty impressive because Jack is the bougie French press coffee maker and he's steeping, and I'm over there dumping packets of coffee into a cup and drinking it, and he's over there steeping and French pressing and all this stuff.
There's steam and all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
and that's
it
crazy.
is like he offered to make me coffee and I'm like, nah, that's okay. I'll have mine over here in like 10 minutes. I'm good. It's such a process with the French press, and you know what, that Zach, you are solving a problem. The people that don't want to invest in a French press, I think everybody has a jet boil or a small camp stove, some type of way to boil a little bit of water. And it's a good cleanup. Like literally, I did it on my reel. I just put the tea bag back in the package and dispose of it. It's not leaking, it's not dripping. It's pretty cool. So, there's something to be said about the form factor of it too. So
Jack, we're currently like redoing the copy on our website. And so like right now the copy on the website is like objectively like it's kind of boring. Like I'd say it's a snooze fest, if I'm being honest with you. Because I wrote it. But I hired someone to like redo the whole thing, and he's like 22. He's like a kid, right? But he did this. He wrote this. He didn't like Liquid Death didn't hire him, but he like did all this stuff like kind of as if he had been hired by Liquid Death.
Yeah.
And it's like really good. So I hired this kid, and I was like, dude, like just be like really aggressive. Like we're trying to like make fun of pretentious coffee people and blah blah blah. And he sent me back the first draft, and like I showed it to a couple of like my advisors and mentors, and they're like, you need to tone down on like making fun of these people because you're gonna alienate.
But to that point, like let's think of another very popular San Diego company that did that, like Stone Brewing. If you ever read the bottle of a back bottle of Arrogant Bastard, it's like, you're not going to like this. Like, you drink shitty beer. This is good beer. Go drink this. And I'm sorry, it works.
Yeah.
And
so I mean,
Liquid Death is the same way. It's very just.
So I told him like, we want the Wildland version of Liquid Death and Black Rifle.
There you go.
Because those are like the two brands that like, dude, like it's fucking water. Like you go to the store and it's $2 for their water. It's 75 cents the one right next to it. It's the same thing. And people are like, I'll spend $2. Like it makes no sense. Like
you just described Jack, the Liquid
I'm
Death
also
guy.
guilty as charged of drinking Liquid Death. I have it through an Amazon subscription. It gets delivered every week.
Oh man.
Because look, here's the thing. Plastic water bottles are not good.
Yeah.
Plastic is bad, right? We've
You
got
ever
it
heard of
everywhere.
they make these things called hydro flasks, Jack. You can have a bottle at home.
Okay, but you want to know what's also bad? Shipping water. Shipping water makes no sense. It comes out of your tap.
I should get a better filtration system so I can drink the water that's at my house.
If we really cared about the environment, we would stop drinking bottled or canned water. It makes no sense.
And that's true. Absolutely.
But like you like the way Liquid Death makes you feel because it has the cool packaging, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not actually about that. My kid loves drinking bottled water, and he's stopped drinking soda to drink bottled water. And that is much healthier for him. And so I want to support that. So for me, I just bought a bunch of Liquid Death and put it in the fridge and didn't buy any more water bottles just to see what would happen. And the Liquid Death started disappearing. So I was like, all right, there we go. We've cut out the plastic. Yes, it's still not good to ship your water. 100%. That's true. But I'm dealing with a kid. So what can you do?
That's fair.
Whatever you need to do to
That's fair.
justify it, it's totally fine.
Yeah, hey, just
Absolutely,
like
absolutely.
whatever helps you sleep at night, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. It's all good.
That's awesome. I'm just looking at the chat, and I see Coyote Connor saying he's a big Liquid Death fan. So yeah, thanks guys for watching along as we're doing the show.
Oh, so they're
Appreciate
coming
that.
out with a Liquid Death Brita filter? No,
That
Perfect.
was a question.
That's yeah,
That-
yeah, they should.
That would be
So
awesome.
I-
That would be cool.
I was thinking that a Liquid Death life straw, you know.
Ooh.
I do have life straws. We do use them when we go, but Phil and I live in Arizona, and Phil's a little closer to water than I am, but there's not very much water down here in Phoenix. And so a life straw is kind of a joke because, where am I going to find water in the middle of the desert? It's just not going to happen. So they're in the car. They're there on the odd chance that I actually find a source of disreputable water that I can turn into something resembling reputable. But
I've got an idea, Jack. I've got an idea. It occurred to me when we were talking. So last year we did that snow run.
Yep.
So if we can pull off another snow run, we collect a bunch of snow, melt it down, brew coffee with it.
That sounds like a worthwhile challenge.
I have the life straw that has the 2-gallon bag for the dirty water that filters through. So we could do that, Phil.
I like it.
We could
That's
brew
awesome.
snow coffee.
Now, in order to brew snow coffee in Arizona, we have to do it like next week, right? Because
Dude, our
spring
run
is
was in
almost already
March,
here.
man. Our run was in
Yeah,
March.
our run was in March, and next week we're going to be in Hurricane, Utah, so we can't do that. And Zach's going to be in Moab, so
That's true.
I mean, we're all going to Utah.
All right. Well, good times.
You guys got a plan for some weather with the rain apocalypse that has been hitting California and the northern parts of
Dude,
those
it was
states.
crazy yesterday. I was driving, and for like 10 minutes, I couldn't see out the front windshield.
There you go, real rain. How
Yeah.
how underwater is Mission Valley Mall right now?
I haven't been, but probably like pretty underwater. It's actually it's nice and sunny today. But
That's
yeah,
good.
the last like week has been kind of
Pretty
crazy.
crazy.
I used to live in Salt Lake, and I love to ski. Well, Salt Lake has gotten like record snows this year. It's been incredible. I saw an email this morning. They had gotten 7 feet since January 1st or something.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
maybe that
That's
was the
11
number, but
days.
it was some insane number. Like
That's
The
huge.
lifts are dragging as they go up. You
Right,
gotta
yeah,
hold
exactly,
up because you're hitting so
exactly.
much snow.
That's awesome.
We had
Yeah.
flooding yesterday in Las Vegas, and the crazy part was all the homeless people come out of the tunnels and they have nowhere to
Mhm.
go because the flood control tunnels is where they live. So they have to pack their home up. And I was hitting rain, and it was great. It was kind of like I was living in Illinois again. Pretty awesome.
sorry, people.
Yeah.
My
There
bad.
you go.
Well, Zach, thanks so much for coming on the show today. Where can people follow you and find your Wildland Coffee?
Yeah. So wildlandcoffee.co, no M, just CO. Probably should buy the .com. The guy wants like $900.
You should get it bought.
you guys
Everybody
all
buy
go
coffee
on-
from Zach so he can
If you guys
get
all go buy it, I'll go buy the domain today.
Nice.
We're also on Amazon, so we are Prime. I do prefer through my website, but if you're like a big Prime person, then hit it on Amazon.
Nice.
Nice.
And then
Right on.
Overland DC is the discount code on it,
Yep.
only on the website. That won't work
Correct.
on Amazon or anywhere else. So
Yeah,
Overland
discount
DC.
code does not work on the website.
So everybody, and then if you're at the Winter 4x4 Jamboree, Jack and I are both going to be there, and we're going to have some very limited samples. Very limited. We have some to hand out, so we'll make sure and toss those out. If you see us, hit us up, and we'll make sure and give you a bag of Wildland to try. And we're going to kind of walk around the campground and toss them out at people that are frustrated with their French press, because sounds like Wildland's new slogan is "frustrated with your French press" on the back of his t-shirts. So
Straight. I like that one a lot, actually. The other thing that I've been kind of pushing is the no mess French press.
Nice. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
nice alliteration.
I don't know. We could probably crowdsource some ideas and maybe
No
run a
mess French
contest.
press. Frustrated with your French press. Like, like got milk, frustrated with your French press? Question mark.
Forget the French press.
Forget the French press.
Forget
Yeah.
the French press. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
on.
thinking about making a shirt that said "Get teabagged."
That's awesome.
Oh no.
Do our producers have the sound of crickets? I don't think they do. That's okay. Hey, I did an Instagram reel and I felt terrible because I called it a tea bag instead of a coffee
No,
bag.
here's the thing. My original packaging, it said coffee in a tea bag because because most people have never seen this type of product before. So like describing it, like how do you get someone in like a second to envision in their brain what the product is? Like that's like a non-trivial task to like do. So for a long time, and I actually still kind of describe it as like coffee in a tea bag because it's so descriptive. The problem is then people are like, tea's watery. It's probably gonna be watery coffee. But then, so now it says single serve coffee bag, but no one knows what a single serve coffee bag is. So there's no like perfect way to do it.
Yeah. And what was surprising to me when I opened the bag was the size of like the coffee bag. And
massive.
like you could even play into that where it's like, you know, upsize your tea bag. Like, are you ready to step up into the big boys tea bag? Like, here you go. It's coffee.
Yeah.
We don't need a little tea bag.
So I'll actually just like make a comment about that. So we put 16 grams of coffee in the bag. And the reason that we do that is because we want to have our customers to have like a really good experience, right? So like when we do tests, so there's this metric called TDS, total dissolved solids. It's basically like how much coffee is in the water, because coffee is like 99% water. So a French press is like, a good French press is like 1.15% TDS, which means there's 100% of the liquid, 1.15% of it is like actual coffee. And when I do tests with Wildland, like it's the same number. Sometimes it's even higher depending on how you make it. Like the more you dunk it, you're going to get more extraction from the beans. So like that's why there's so much coffee, is because I just want my customers to have like a really good experience. Some of the competitors put like 14 grams in, some even put in like 10 or 12. But you know, we spend a little bit more money to make sure our customers have a great experience, and the actual data, like literally how much coffee is in the water, it shows that it actually makes a difference, and it's basically the same thing as a French press.
Can't fight data.
I will tell you that the selling point for most of us was Jack is the biggest coffee snob I know. I should go like this. Jack is the biggest coffee snob, and Phil is the second biggest coffee snob, and I'm probably the third. So, you know, the show is called Overland Coffee Talks for a reason. I mean, we could drink coffee all day long, and the product spoke for itself that it was legit. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there and a lot of gimmicks, and your branding is great. You know, your stewardship of the environment was something we were all behind, like, you know, compostable, recyclable packaging, everything. You're doing everything right to where it really caught our eye. And I'm going to say this is the only stuff that's going to be in my truck. So the other stuff's gone. And I think Jack probably feels pretty close to the same way, because he was raving about it too. So.
Oh yeah. No, I just took another sip while you were talking about everything that was going on. And just the thing that I love about it is that it's so smooth. It's so smooth. The cup of coffee is like really smooth. And the dark roast often will end up being a little bit burnt, a little bit bitter, and not here. This is, I had it steep for about 9, maybe even 10 minutes, just because we were talking and I didn't go in and do cleanup, right? And I've got a strong coffee, but it's not burnt. It's not acidic. It's really nice. So I've enjoyed it. You know, it's one of those things. I was really happy to find it because it's such a simple solution to toss in the bag, and that was a no-brainer for me. So yeah, we're really excited to be working with you.
We got to get you buying the whole bean now, dude. We got to get you buying a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, laziness in the whole bean. But
I do whole bean at home, so I'm gonna have to probably get that and some of the creamer. I'm holding out, waiting for my Wildland coffee mug and a shirt.
I
He
feel like
won't stop.
there's
He's not
like
going to stop, man. Just give
there's
in.
like some public there's like a lot of like public pressure here to like send swag to Keenan.
Send swag to Keenan and Jack.
All right, all right.
Keenan's shameless.
I will send a couple of mugs when I send the coffee to Jack today. How's that sound?
We're doing
We
good.
appreciate it.
We
That'll
have-
be awesome.
We have the nice cork mugs,
I
Yeah.
like that.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed. Very
and
nice.
they're microwave friendly.
Oh, good.
So, and they've got, I mean, I don't have the lid, but it has a nice lid. So these are nice. So I'll send a couple for you guys.
So talk
Sweet.
about the other products you have on your website that aren't Wildland Coffee. Who's that? What are they doing?
Yeah. I've got some friends that I like to support. So one is that creamer that I was talking about. Actually, I don't sell like a ton of it, but the people that like buy it, like I get really good feedback on it. People really enjoy it, and I use it too. It's really good. Because it's like a coconut creamer, like you kind of have to like stir it up, or else it gets a little clumpy. But like it's the taste is really good. And then I've also got these like little cookbooks. The guy's name is Steve Corso, and he's prior to like being an entrepreneur, he's a classically trained French chef, and he's also a backpacker. And so he made these little cookbooks that have, I don't know, I think each one has like 15 recipes or something, but they're recipes that have like less than 8 ingredients, I think, and they can all be made on the trail. Like, and they're designed for backpackers. So they're really
Nice.
simple, but he's like a French chef, so they're really good too.
Oh, I've
Um,
heard of this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
he goes to like all of the Overland Expos, and he teaches a cooking class.
Nice.
Yeah, those.
Well, we
Very
all love to eat, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jack, we're gonna have to order some of the cookbooks for sure.
Yeah.
We'll check it out.
The cookbooks are great. Steve's an awesome guy. He lives out of his van, like travels around the country and teaches cooking classes and goes to all the Overland Expo events. And
Yeah, I was reading about
tell
him
us
the other
cookbook.
day. Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, I was reading on your website.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where I was trying to think of why I knew who this was. Oh, I was reading your website. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think I've run into him at the Overland Expo. I've been to, I'm up to 5 expos now. And I did get to do Overland Expo East right before they closed for COVID. So I hit that one, and then we took a break for COVID for a while. But yeah, super excited. Love the Overland Expos. They're super fun.
Yeah. If anyone's going to be at Overland West, Wildland is going to be at the Sunflare booth. So Sunflare, they're a solar panel company. Their
Nice.
booth is going to be inside, like where all the food trucks are. They've got a
Nice.
huge booth. I think they might be
Oh.
the only booth in that section. So we're going to be making coffee, giving out samples, and
Nice.
selling pouches.
Nice. That'll be
All right.
fun. Well, Overland
Zach,
Expo,
what's-
we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are, and we're gonna be at what Expo? I don't remember which one it is.
Expo West.
Is that where we're gonna be?
We're gonna be at Overland Expo West.
All right, so come check us out. We'll have a booth
We
there.
will also have a booth up there, and it'll be super fun. And we'll probably be drinking Wildland Coffee.
Well, I know we're going to be drinking well, and we're gonna do we'll have a live show. It sounds like it'll be every day. We're gonna go live from Overland Expo West. So Zach will pull you in, and we'll have you come on the show.
Hell yeah, we'll have some
That-
beers, some coffee.
In
Yeah,
mugs. In.
And we're not gonna forget the mugs.
We're
I'm
not.
pushing.
I won't-
I'm taking over for Keenan here. Just covering while he's
I'm-
drinking coffee.
I'm so nervous
Thank you.
about this mug situation.
I love
Oh,
it.
we have fun.
So nervous about the mugs.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of pressure that these mugs have to be amazing. It's like I'm
No.
getting so much pressure to like send mugs and
Here's
like
the thing.
or, like,
That'd be
well, like I'm just kidding.
This is what's
The
selling
mugs
the
are great.
product. The product is selling itself. So the mugs are just a bonus.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
buy a mug, support Zach, and buy some cookbooks and some coffee creamer, which sounds amazing too. So I mean, we totally love the smaller businesses. We don't need corporations here. We don't really bring big companies on. So it's super cool to have, the new guys. And Zach, what's 23 look like for you? What do you see with Wildland? What's your dreams and your goals, man?
Well, that's a really deep question. I mean, we have two main focuses. We have the outdoor scene, which is mostly comprised of overlanders. So going to like a lot of events for that. We recently got into Shields, so we're in one Shields right now. We're going to be in 7 by the end of the month.
Wow.
We're going to be in Public Lands, which is the new Dick's spinoff,
Mhm.
kind of competitor to REI. So we're going to be there in a couple months. So really like growing our retail channel for the outdoor space. And then we're
Nice.
also going after hospitality, so like hotels.
Nice.
So,
Oh, that'll be a great solution.
yeah. So really like just the focus is, I mean, like most of my days selling, cold calling. That's like what I do, honestly, most of the time. We brought the manufacturing in-house. So also doing like co-branded stuff, white label stuff. So if anyone listening owns a company, you want your own like tea bag product, we can make it happen
But with coffee in it, not tea.
with
Yes.
coffee in it. I mean, I guess we could do tea actually. If someone
you go.
wanted tea.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. We appreciate the option to chat with you today, Zach. It's
Yeah,
been
thanks,
really
guys.
fun. We're
Cool.
excited about your product and we enjoy drinking it.
I appreciate the time, guys. Thanks.
Wildlandcoffee.co, and the
That's right.
discount code is Overland DC for 10% off. So go support Zach and get some swag and some coffee. And it's a no mess French press.
The No Mess
Like-
Frank person. Buy a mug.
And buy a mug and send it to my house. So thanks, Zach. We appreciate you.
Yep,
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Zach. If you enjoyed the show, please go ahead and check us out at overlanddc.com. That'll get you a link over to our Discord channel so that you can head into the channel and hang out with us. If you like the advice we gave, there's lots of other smart people who are on the channel who know more about what we're talking about than we do sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a whole variety of folks, and we've got international audience. We've got international attendance. We've got people from Germany. We've got people from Australia. We've got people from
South
Africa.
yeah.
We've got Asia. Yeah, we've got folks from wherever, and we're all excited to talk about overlanding. One of my favorite parts of the Discord channel is that we have a photo page, right? And
Mhm.
people show the adventures, and it's just amazing. I love it. We had one of our members who had recently been to Turkey, and
Oh my
the
god.
photos, guys, so much jealousy. It was beautiful. It was awesome. And I was just like, oh man, I'd love to do that. So yeah, come join us. Overlanddc.com will get you the right direction to go to the Discord channel, and then just come check us out. Thanks for watching.